All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Disclosed. My name's Ty Roberts, and I am the host, creator of the program. And my lovely co host, Kari Lindsay, will be right in. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you to everyone. It's been really, really fun to get back in the groove of doing these weekly live shows and getting engaged with the audience, in addition to putting out other content like the podcast, which Kari is great with editing. We have Peter Robbins coming up tomorrow, so it's already out on the audio feeds, and just an absolute incredible conversation, absolute incredible editing job by Kari. And today we're going to be diving into a few topics. UFO stuff was a little dry, I guess, this week. So I've kind of talked to Kari and back and forth, and what should we discuss about? And I was like, you know what, let's just kind of kick back and really have an open discussion. Before we get into it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want to help support the show. Obviously, you can hit join on YouTube. I think it's even coming to iOS devices finally, so you can join on Apple or click the link in the description below and become a member. You can also send a super chat during the show, especially shows like tonight where we're kind of the audience is definitely the third member of the hosting platform. Send your questions. Let's engage each other, and yeah, let's have some fun. With that being said, Kari, welcome.
Hi.
Super. Hi.
Hi.
Listen.
My name is Kari. I am the co-host of this show.
Yeah.
Hello.
Last week, we ended the show, and we started talking. Well, so we had an idea of talking about Dylan Borland. I hadn't had a chance to kind of get into testimony. The episode did get, in fact, a little heated towards the end with our differences in opinions. But again, I just want to start this show by saying that is kind of the point.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Whilst
finishing
I
off,
don't... Sorry. You keep going. I won't cut you off. I'm sorry.
Finishing off, I do want to let you kind of... you said you wanted to talk about that. Aside from the actual case, I think we made it pretty clear we're on different sides of this. What was it that you wanted to mention?
Oh, it's just coffee debate. I'd had a lot of coffee, so it got a little intense. My aim is not to be that intense. Like,
Not
we can,
that.
I watched it back and was just like, ugh, too much coffee.
Well,
So, whilst it was fun, and it is the point to have those kind of debates, and it's fun to disagree and kind of poke and prod and push each other,
absolutely.
I never want to give the audience the impression that I'm a dick. So, like, I just want to, like, ease off the gas there a little. So,
Well, I think I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun
I
talking
had a
about
lot
it.
of fun. I just, like you said, the audience is a third member in this conversation. So, I want to respect that.
Ironically, I was actually watching the first half of the latest episode of Weaponized, and in the beginning of the episode, they start talking about the latest guy who had the sighting at Eglin, and Jeremy was bringing up maps and talking about angles of observation. I found it quite funny and ironic that all of a sudden they were looking at like bases of the maps of the base on Google and looking at angle of observation and where he saw it at Eglin. And, we had just had that debate about Borland. So I don't know what...
I've got magic powers, Ty. I knew everything.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to start today's show also. Well, obviously, thanks for getting that out of the way. And listen, I think that's the point is, we come from very different backgrounds. We come
Right.
from very different places and corners of the community. And I think naturally that's kind of what the draw might be, is getting that angle of observation from your side, from my side.
Right.
And, displaying that for everyone to ask the right questions, not to spoon feed them any answers. But speaking of confusion, there's a documentary that was shown in March at South by Southwest. All every person that went, all the big content creators, Rogan, Actually, he's really the only one I can think of right now. Rogan, he's been talking about this Age of Disclosure documentary.
Sam Tripoli?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah,
Sam Tripoli?
yeah.
That rings about. I could be wrong.
Well, he does Tinfoil Hat and Friends with Corbell, so
Right.
and he's a comedian, so that would make sense as well. Yeah.
I cut you off. You were talking about Age of Disclosure. Sorry. Age
Well,
of Disclosure.
I know. What does so as filmmakers and as people who make content, I think there's a confusion among the UFO community on how films are distributed and how they. I mean, you can just debut it on YouTube, but especially this marketing itself as having 34, former government officials, military folk, this Dan Farah, having worked with Spielberg and taking on this documentary, he wants to sell this for the highest price. And I don't think people really understand that. This is not, Disclosure does have a price, unfortunately, when it comes to, the money that was put into it to produce it. Now you have to satisfy the producers who bought in originally to fund it. And you have to make that money back plus some. So, I mean, a lot of people are talking about where it might go, is that it's going to have a limited run in theaters. What's your take on Age of Disclosure? I want to watch the trailer. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the newest one, but what's your take on the whole process?
I think it's been a bit long-winded.
I do too.
And the fact that, so, I don't know. I'm not sure how much interest there was after South by Southwest. It's not something that we're like. It's not like anybody's on the inside of these meetings and development and everything. So I don't know. It's just taken a very long time. I will say this though, this new trailer doesn't have James Clapper in it, that's always a plus side in my book. So,
Why?
We'll see.
Why is that?
Because he's terrible.
I know.
He's terrible. He abused Pfizer. He's terrible.
You said you pulled up the trailer? Because I
Yeah,
want to
trailer was
watch
really
it, and then I
good.
want to talk a little bit about Age of Disclosure. But I think there is that misconception about how things are distributed. So, again, there's a process to fund a film, and you fund. So this film has been funded, it's been produced, it's been edited, like it's paid for. Now, what they're looking for is the company that's
return.
going to distribute it to the masses. And I think it's either going to go Apple or Amazon. People have thought Netflix. I don't think it's Netflix. I don't think Netflix has the money.
Have you not seen what's been going on today?
No.
Okay, so we have a release date and an exclusivity with Prime.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they've announced an exclusivity window with Prime, which it kind of sounded hooey, but then someone on the executive level at Amazon made a statement, not confirming it, but saying how excited, it was corporate talk, so they're saying how excited they are to bring the film and broaden their platform, whatever.
Well,
That's not like glowing endorsement, but it's some kind of confirmation from the executive level of Prime Video that that there is an exclusivity deal.
Do you think that was the
guess.
smartest move?
I think it was the only move they could get. And it's been this long, and Dan Farrow created his own distribution company in order to be able to get this onto Prime. Because you have to do it through a distribution company. So it was like 3 weeks ago, he made his own publishing company called Relentless Releasing. Wow. And now there's an exclusivity deal with Amazon, which I think he made the company probably to be able to get this deal.
Well, that's the thing. So I was more expecting it to go Apple. I swear. I was expecting, because I figured it was going to have a big price tag on it, but the longer it waited, the more likely that, again, that price goes down. Because, I mean, it is, if they wait any longer, like, Stratton's book's going to come out. Like, the big appeal of this is, Stratton's in it, and he makes some, even in the trailer, there was a pretty wild claim from Stratton himself saying, I've seen the bodies. Now, you can,
Right.
from what I know, he doesn't really go far past that. And, from what Rogan has said and other content creators that were there at South by Southwest, this movie isn't Disclosure, but then you got guys like, Tim Burchett, who says, like, get ready, America. And I can't tell if that's him actually saying and endorsing, like, this is going to change the game, or if it's just, I'm in this, get ready.
It's all a work, brother. This is just PR. It's literally all just PR.
Well, also, like
yes, be excited. They want you to be excited, but they're going to say that anyway. So it's not really like an exciting statement to say. Next movie, buckle up, America. Okay, but
interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I didn't know.
I want to comment, highlight a comment from an old Toti Waba show fan called Enzo. I actually know Enzo in real life. He's saying that something I missed out. There's a limited theatrical release that is going to enable it to be Oscar.
Called it. That's what I was.
Yeah.
That's in my head. I'm going. They want at least a limited release.
I think it's like 21 days in 3 cities, I think. Or something.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think Netflix would be a contender, because I don't think Netflix likes that model, because
that's not true. I actually saw recently that they're actually for the first time allowing a film to do like an exclusive theatrical run before coming to Netflix.
Yeah, for the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least they're being open to it. It's not like it's outside the realm anymore.
And I believe Amazon's done it multiple times, so they're kind of like, they understand the reasoning why a filmmaker would want to do it, but also having the ease. Because, like, at least I don't know many people who don't have a Prime membership. Like, whether it's shopping, just for shopping, and they have a Prime membership. Like, everyone has Prime. At least, like, a lot of people I know, and a lot of people in the market that I know have Amazon Prime. Like, it's a thing that everybody has, especially after the pandemic days. So I thought it would be, like I said, I thought Amazon or Apple. I didn't know is actually confirmed. So what was the date? November 24th.
So I have the article. Should I just pull up the article?
Yeah.
Okay. Share this tab instead. Boom.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
It is a bold move.
So get this banner out of the way.
The Age of Disclosure, an explosive documentary that makes a strong case for the existence of non-human intelligent life, unidentified anomalous phenomena are visiting our planet. We'll get a robust Oscar-qualifying run and worldwide release on Prime Video. Film directed by Dan Farrow will be released theatrically on November 21st in York City, not New York City, in York City, Los Angeles and Washington DC, and streamed the same day on Prime Video. And it's also gonna, I guess, like, what was it? Did it say how many? How many days it's in how many days does a film have to be in theaters to qualify? Someone in the chat find out.
I think it would have to be at least a 14 to 21 day run.
I'd say 21 days.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
That sounds about right.
Which actually takes them up to Christmas, and then cinemas are closed over Christmas anyway. So.
Not here.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
no. It's
yeah,
like
you
a
guys.
thing.
To be fair, they just closed. They just closed the cinemas here. So, like, seriously, I don't have a local cinema anymore. I can't go to the films.
Oh, that's insanity.
It sucks. Like, the closest one is like a 35-minute ride. It's like I'm not doing that.
Interesting. Well, here, like, it's like a kind of. It's funny you say because it's like a tradition for my family. We go to the movies on Christmas.
Huh?
Like, because there's.
I mean, they probably are. They probably
Star
are open.
Wars.
I just don't think of them as open. So
yeah, Star Wars like
anything.
always since The Force Awakens. Star Wars has been doing Christmas releases. But yeah, so pull that trailer up. Let's give it a old watch-a-rooney.
Yes. Share this tab instead. There we go. All right, are we fair using this?
Yeah.
So we have to stop every 20 seconds and talk about it?
No. Go if they tag it, I'll clip it out.
Okay. All right. We'll lose the live chat, but whatever. All right, I'm hitting play.
The music might
We've
be
had
what
repeated
gets us.
instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours.
These are otherworldly things that are performing maneuvers
Carson,
that
radio,
haven't been seen.
same videos.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
This is so secret. There have been very few people in our entire government that have been allowed or provided access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees. People have been hurt protecting and hiding this information.
Some people claim it would cost them their lives if they spoke out about these things.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for a species.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
How many takes did that one? All right. Dude, I mean, I'll say this. The cinematography in it, the editing style, the kind of official nature that it does
That
have.
was all editing, brother.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's going to be monumental. However, I don't think that any film, I mean, here's a scenario I could see, right? Is this movie debuts and then it's through word of mouth, the buzz gets like deafening. General public interest is at a fever pitch, right? Atlas is coming in. People are talking about Atlas. Avi Loeb's on every news channel that will literally air him. Everyone's talking aliens. Yep, Spielberg's making this new Disclosure movie, which I've heard. I can't say, I'm not afraid to say it. I've heard from my own back channels in Hollywood that the new Spielberg movie is going to be set in the same world as Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's going to be called Disclosure, set in the world after the moment and after the events of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So it's going to be a post-disclosure film. Does that make sense?
That's actually, I feel like that's like the only place that Spielberg could really take it. He's done the Benevolent One. He's done E.T. He's done War of the Worlds. Like,
yep.
So that makes a lot of sense. With reports I heard where there was a nun who lives in a church or a monastery. Spielberg's film was filming there. They were filming, so obviously it's going to touch on religion and stuff. So that actually does tie in to that. So
yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if that, because now when that there's a bunch of headlines for it when it came out, and like Luna was sharing it and was like, Disclosure's coming, and you just got to ask yourself, like, why, and I think there is this notion that the UFO world is kind of always known, or at least talked about, that lawmakers and policymakers and people in the government and military, they do talk to Hollywood, and they do exchange information, and by virtue of association, some of that stuff ends up in the films you go see. And whether you want to call that propaganda or slipping in the truth, a lot of sci-fi, I think, has been riddled with these little
I don't think
subtleties.
it's just sci-fi. I mean, Zero Dark 30 had a lot of details of the assassination of Osama bin Laden, which were not public, and that movie got Catherine Bigelow in quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah,
because she included so much like real-world detail that. you wouldn't watching it, you wouldn't know that that's actually like really what happened, but it is, and it pissed the people off who were supposed to keep that secret. So
Yeah. Dude, that woman that it's based on, they still don't know who it is. They still no one knows who that woman is. And she
because
spent
it's not one woman. There's a documentary. There was a group of women inside.
it's like a
the
group
CIA
of
station.
analysts that
Yeah,
just
there's a group of analysts.
woke up every day and literally woke up every day and breathed and lived. Like
Jessica
Osama.
Chastain's character is an amalgamation of these analysts. It's like an analog. It's just a compilation of all these different
Right.
little story bits put into a character, because obviously you can't have, if you want to center the movie around someone, you can't have it be an entire team, because then it gets too big in scope with everything else they're doing. So they slim it down to just one character who's like the Mary Sue of the intelligence world, who can, oh, I know where Osama is, and Jason Clarke's like, okay.
You know, I'll say this. I just stuttered like real hard. You know, if interviews that I conduct here in studio aren't always going to be UFO like disclosure based, I do want to do some like military and like if anyone watches Julian Dory or like Danny Jones, they have a lot of military like ex-CIA, ex-FBI. I do want to have some of those conversations, and because I do find spycraft very interesting, so it's something I do want to branch out into. But it's also an easy way to kind of go back into disclosure, because UFOs and UAPs, and you know, arguably even the paranormal and more consciousness-based stuff. You know, those people tend to be interested in that kind of topic. So I think it's an easy bridge to gap. And I bring it up because this movie, this Age of Disclosure movie, is touting that it has 34, you know, military government officials. Now, scrap off the top.
Probably 33 now.
I was going to say, scrape off the top like Burchett, you know, probably Luna, Mace, and then Elizondo, Jay Stratton. Like, everyone that we see in the trailer, scratch them out. That still leaves a good amount of people that we don't know.
Yeah, that still leaves like at least 20 people. But,
right.
I mean,
so
who could that conceivably be?
My question to the audience and to you, aside, you know, the scenario I pitched is, you know, it's spreading word of mouth, you know, combining with good timing. Maybe the timing was, I don't know, essential. You know, I don't know. Maybe that was part
Here's a
of it.
counter question.
Do you think it can move the needle?
Here's my counter question, which will answer your question. Do you think that if the movie was immediately picked up at South by Southwest, the UAP Disclosure Act would have passed? Because releasing it after it's failed for the 4th time just seems kind of like...
That's a good question. You know what? That's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question. Why? Ooh. Okay. I don't want to go there. I don't know. I don't know. I'd hate to suggest anything.
I respect it. I respect it.
I'd hate to suggest anything or get anyone upset or mad in this context, because I think the UAP Disclosure Act, it's interesting when you start looking at it and you start looking at, you know, who publicly is willing to talk about it, but then when it really comes time to, you know, kind of slam the gavel down, if you will, who don't do it, they're also the same people that, like, when the Epstein vote goes out, right? Like, only 2 Republicans voted to release the Epstein files.
Which is, as a non-American,
what is the fuck? What the fuck is going
on?
What
the? Are you guys okay? Like, do you need a hug?
Like,
what's going on?
Is going on?
Like, you guys look schizophrenic as a nation when you do this shit, and when the whole world's kind of watching you. You guys look insane, and it's like, that would never happen here.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe in the UK it probably would happen, but like, in
Yeah, I was
other
saying, you're
in
not- you
other
guys aren't-
civilized
you guys aren't
societies, I
too
don't
much
think
better.
it would happen.
But yeah, it does. But that's why. And you know what? This is a little bit of a segue here. I saw that you thought, and listen, it's cool. Like, just remember, it's cool, right? We're good.
What did I do?
I found a. You know, I'm about to go in on you. That's what that means. So, you called out a guy that I have been really fascinated with lately.
Jason Giorgiani?
Yes, and.
Okay.
I think he's the only. Now, given whatever you're about to say, given whatever, whatever.
I'm trying to stay calm.
Whatever company he's kept in the past, I think Jason does have a very good kind of foundational look at the UFO phenomena. He really, and this is something I've been saying, and I guess it's maybe the reason I like him so much right now is because when listening to him, he's bringing up a lot of points that I've raised for so long. Like, what are the chances that the guys that are running, or the people, I should say, the deep state, quote unquote, that are running these Epsteins and Diddy's of the world, what are the chances that those aren't the same people that are keeping this technology secret and hiding it from the public, and going around and making sure that certain politicians vote in certain ways, right? UAPDA does in fact come up. Why is the Ohio congressman the biggest challenge when it comes to passing anything with the UAP related?
Because of Wright Patterson.
Because of private aerospace and the ability for lobbying campaigns and all these donors to basically influence. Like, the whole fucking system is broken. It's so broken. And Giorgiani's bringing up a lot of good points about why, like, listen, I think these are the same people, and he's not afraid to go in those dark corners. And am I saying everyone's perfect? No, far from it. But he raises a very valid point about how a lot of these early, like the Adamskis and how they really had CIA handlers, and why have we been fed this Nordics and archetypal alien greys, like angel-looking beings, and then what you would consider to be a demon-looking being, something that has no soul, right? That's the biggest.
I can probably answer that question.
But you see what I'm going? Like, Giorgiani is talking about a lot of things that I've been asking about.
Okay.
Like, why did we shed our fur only to need pelts in the winter? Why is our biological clock more attuned to Mars than it is to Earth? Why are we the only creature that gets burned by the sun?
Whoa, slow up. Our biological clocks are not in tune with the Earth, they're in tune with Mars?
Yeah, our actual biological clock is more attuned to the Martian day than it is to the Earth day.
What qualitative data are people using to make that conclusion?
It's that compounded with many other things, like the fact that we think, we could be planet hopping, and we find the Zion 129, the big scar across Mars. Like, we could have been of, not of Earth originally, but of Mars, and we planet hopped here after some sort of cataclysm. So he's kind of drawing lines, and he is making some assumptions and speculation, but he makes it clear when he's speculating.
Okay.
Why were the Nazis so obsessed with the Aryan race, the white blonde-haired person? Why is Epstein? Why is it that they were interested in like Ghislaine Maxwell? All of her handlers, like her boys that she would keep, they were all of Swedish descent. And like, there's one of them that talks about it, about how he would shower, and Ghislaine he would shower in the house, and like, how your hair goes into the drain, like his hair would be missing from the drain when he got home, and you start asking these questions. I'm just saying. That might be very, very. I just might have dropped so much, but.
Christ.
So
all right, where do I even start with that?
All right. Well, let's rock it back to starting with Giorgiani, just in general.
Okay. Just for context, so I have to go through the context of why you're putting Giorgiani to me because of what I said. I pointed out correctly that about 8 years ago, he worked with Richard Spencer, the neo-Nazi, to try and take over and announce ownership of the alt-right. Which he then since says he walked away and it was a big mistake. I think it backfired PR-wise. I think that's what happened, honestly. And then I a couple of years ago, I looked into him and I read he's got like this manifesto called Prometheism, which is just, it wouldn't be out of place on Gaia.com. Just saying.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
So, my main problem though is the creeping fascism. People like that, you got to keep an eye on them and check them.
But I see. I don't understand where you're coming from on this, because he's on these shows talking and bringing it to light that we are being fed this.
I'll be honest, I don't listen to shows with him on because he worked with Richard Spencer, the neo-Nazi. Like it's an automatic. I'm not clicking that video because I know that guy worked with a neo-Nazi. Like why would I do that?
I will say this. It was very interesting in this most recent appearance on Jesse Michaels that the entire... Now, I don't know whose choice this was, whose set design this was inspired by. I'm assuming it was set up by Jesse and his team. But it was like all white and like gave really like a weird heaven vibe. Like there was this like carpet that was only there for camera depth that you could tell, but it was also white on the Now, I'm not sure if it was just, like I said,
So
set
was
design.
this in the normal studio or did like Jesse and his
No,
team
this was
have
a
something?
very new looking,
Okay.
like not the regular Jesse Michaels studio.
Could this just have been Jason's house?
There's no way, dude. Go look at the video. It is odd that it's filmed that way, but again, I don't think that's Giorgiani himself making that decision because it's for American Alchemy and Jesse Michaels. It was just weird. It was hard to watch because it's just constant whiteness. Like the whole background, there's nothing, no thing, literally. It's just white. It looks like that movie that like, remember when in the Matrix when like the guns are about to come. Like that white emptiness. That's what it felt like.
Okay.
But Giorgiani, I think, you know, if he agrees, like I'm going to bring him to the studio.
Okay.
I want to talk to him. I don't think.
I'm not saying that he should be cancelled. My point was, I don't watch this stuff, but I haven't seen anybody else talking about it, so I assume it hasn't been brought up. No, I don't see anybody checking him on this. Like he's talking.
I mean,
about
I would ask about
all of this all the subjects he talks about. These are all things that have come from this ideology called Prometheism that he carries. So it's like interrogating the ideas without looking at the underlying like ideology and philosophy there. That's one level. But there's also, unless someone can time code and send it to me, because I don't have time to sit and watch 8 episodes of whatever. I don't think anybody's checked him and gone, hey, like 8 years ago, you were literally trying to take over the alt-right. So like, what's going on, buddy?
Okay.
Like, that's all I want. I'm not saying like cancel him and don't talk to him or anything like that. But I think he should be interrogated on this stuff in this
you can't
context.
use that word though. You cannot use that.
You can interrogate
interrogate
ideas, interrogate an event that happened.
All right. I see.
I don't mean it in like the, I think that there is a negative connotation or outcome to it, but I'm interrogating the idea of that. It's an English way of saying.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Here, when you say interrogate, my mind.
No, I know. I
naturally
get
goes
it.
to police.
I want to be clear. I'm not saying
Yeah.
like he's done anything wrong or.
Okay. So
anything like
given
that, but
Given that, I think there are many individuals in the UFO community that you could arguably pull up something not similar, but like skeletons in people's
not as
closet.
egregious, but I mean, yeah, and I think a lot of those people suck. I wouldn't consider myself like a leftist, but like
I don't
know,
even see the connection that you're like. I don't.
There is a lot of connections between the fascist right and ufology. There's a lot of linkage through the New Age world and like the Vril Society, and Germany had secret space programs and they're making diaglossed.
You don't think
It's
that
all mythology that came from the 70s from neo-Nazi groups. Like,
okay, I see where you're going with this.
It's so if you actually trace the history of a lot of this stuff back, a lot of this kind of German ideation of trying to make the Nazis look like they were more successful. It's almost like it's a response to the American exceptionalism that drove this whiteness of the Nordics and all of these alien races that came back in the 50s when America was a very white Christian nation in a Cold War looking to have a marketing edge over its enemy. That's why they had spacemen and flying saucers and all of this stuff.
Valiant Thor.
Right? Valiant Thor is literally like a real life comic book character to promote American exceptionalism and white America, essentially.
But then they're like, okay, but by the same token, people like, why are we not asking questions? Who's the guy that built the Trinity? Not the what?
Echo is making a very, very good point. It's called the New Age to Alt-Right Pipeline, and there's books about it.
Oh. Well,
so if you get sucked into the New Age, if you get sucked into the New Age world, like Gaia is a massive pipeline to being exposed to like eugenics stuff, like the ancient aliens, Anunnaki. All of this stuff is like white centric.
What are you talking about? The Anunnaki comes from the Sumerian tablets. That's like
right.
From the cradle of civilization. They're clearly not white. Right? That's clearly. I don't see how that gets thrown in there. I mean,
maybe not
a
the
white.
Anunnaki, but
Yeah. I mean, I think that.
So like the Nordics, like the early. My main point here is the early alien races, especially the ones that you brought up as Jason bringing up these questions. I've thought about those questions too, and it's not like a profound thing. It was literally just white Christian America. As Christianity was waning, sci-fi went on the rise because people weren't afraid to kind of go outside tenets of Christianity to find entertainment and whatever. And at the same time, you're in a Cold War with Russia that wants to promote American exceptionalism through marketing. And at the same time, you've got sci-fi going everywhere. So you mix all those up in a pot, and you mix all those in a pot, and you get white savior aliens. That's why I keep saying they're very white, because they're white. It's almost the same as like the Aryan genetic thing. But that's where the linkage comes in, is because the whiteness of like the Nordics. That's why like the neo-Nazi movement has kind of stolen the idea of like the Galactic Federation and the Nordics and from the New Age, because it's similar look, if you get what I mean.
Okay, but okay. Here's my thing.
Okay.
What if it were like, why were the Nazis so fixated on blonde-haired, blue-eyed people and that you know that build and type of person? Like, you know,
because
why
that build and type of person was not Jewish.
Specifically? Like, why would you want to eliminate, like, I feel like at least what I'm getting out of what Giorgiani is saying, right, is he's pointing at it and saying, why do they want, like, why is that seemingly what we've been told for so long, is that there's these angeled, like, he's pointing it out. I can't see why he would be promoting it at, like, he seems to be the one that at least now is calling it out, because
okay, well that's good. He's
the one who's brought that to my attention, right? That the idea that there's the two races and that one is the other, one is angels, one is demons, and I haven't
heard it described. I haven't heard it described like that. I've heard like the New Age has a lot more races going on, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
It's not just this good bad dichotomy.
This
is where the whole idea of the Galactic Federation comes from. Is that there's like 27 different species, and there's all different lore and whatever going on. None of it's real.
Well, I mean,
but, you know.
Yeah, I didn't want to spin that out, but I do think there are like a lot of things that do fascinate me in the terms of like, what's that thing that I went to it? Oh, God, I can't even remember. It was built at like in near Palm Springs. It's in California. It was supposed to be a UFO. Integratron. Thank you.
It wasn't a UFO. It was a healing bath.
That's right. Right. But that guy literally was a Nazi sympathizer. Like he had didn't he have like his family living under a rock of a known Nazi sympathizer who ended up blowing himself up and blew his brains all over the wall of this Flintstones-esque house that he had his family in. And then George Van Tassel buys the place, puts his family in there, and starts building the Integratron. And then him and Adamski they both seemingly have these intelligence connections. One having a CIA handler, and the other, being some sort of like, weird
I do find
Nazi.
it interesting that
It's a weird coincidence.
Van Tassel, so Giant Rock was an airport. Like you need back then, like now it's just a plot of land you can drive up and see the rock that you lived under. But back then,
So ridiculous.
where they held the UFO conferences,
rock he lived under.
I mean, literally the rock he lived on. In fact, I'm going to get some photos to illustrate what I'm talking about. 1953. Sorry, it's very loud.
But so Giorgiani is. I'm going to mute you for a second while you type like my coworker. God, my coworker types. She like has one of those keyboards that's meant to click. It drives me crazy. Like I have to go in the other room. So it's wild. So what's your point with all this?
So I just wanted to illustrate. So back then, here's the rock. Here's where he lived under the rock. And
so a Nazi sympathizer blew himself up in that rock, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Or I probably did, but it's not like super important to the idea of when I was research. It wasn't important to what I was doing, but
yeah. So Giorgiani is bringing that up, saying, why is Van Tassel Van Tassel?
This is what I was going to say in response to that. I find this is why I bring up the fact it was an airport. Back then, you had like a fledgling intelligence service, and you've got a guy with a very private airfield out in the desert.
That'd be very useful.
It's very useful, right?
That'd be very useful.
That guy starts pushing stories that inevitably push the idea of white savior aliens and I guess American exceptionalism, because he's the one having contact. The split between him and Roger, what's his face? It's in the beginning of the documentary I made with Darcy Weir. I honestly can't remember.
Which is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's Dark Alliance, available anywhere you get your films. Amazon, Apple, all those places. Buy it now.
That was a fantastic promo, Tyler. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll take my check.
So he ended up having like a big split with this guy, and this is where the Ashtar Command comes from. So Ashtar Command was actually, I know we're kind of off track of Giorgiani, but
no, it's actually all along the same lines.
So
funnily enough,
this is why I bookended Dark Alliance 1 with this story when I was writing, because the idea of like ownership over contact narratives is something that film investigates with Corey Goode and David Wilcock, especially Corey Goode and his want to trademark
the secret space program.
The secret space program, all this stuff. So back then, Van Tassel had a friend who was publishing like Interplanetary Weekly, which was like a publication, and he
probably under Mockingbird.
This is another thing, but he wanted to to like monetize it. He wanted to push it out to the masses. He wanted big billboards. And Van Tassel was more like, no, I think we should just keep it more humble. Like, it's about introspection and connection. Like, and that split is how it's basically this other guy.
Is it Roger Ebert?
No, I can't remember his bloody name.
Why can't I remember the last name? Anyway, keep going.
So he goes off and creates Ashtar Command, and then Van Tassel had to release a big statement saying, this Ashtar Command has nothing to do with my own Ashtar, which again is an echo of Corey Good saying, I'm the only person that can have contact with these beings.
Which is so can I bookend here that Corey is he is so greedy that he's so stupid. Because, dude, when someone comes up and says, hey, dude, I was in the secret space program too, 20 and back, fucking hoorah. Dude, you embrace that. Instead, this fucking idiot, like, can't even look the guy in the eye, right? Like, it's so weird. Like, dude, it drives me insane how stupid and greedy he is. Like, you should have leaned in. If you were really trying to sell this, you should have leaned in and you should have said, yeah, you were in fucking 20 and back. This is fucking great. We have another witness. Let's lie together.
Well, yes, if your primary motivation wasn't the ultimate ownership of that narrative, which that was his plan the whole time, allegedly.
But then it's worth nothing. You see what see where I'm going, though? Like, if it ultimately comes out that it's his intellectual property and no one else could possibly be involved, yet he cites other people being involved.
Right. But if he allowed other people to use his IP and it came out that they made it up, that
and it would run rampant.
It
I
would
get
put
it.
him at risk. So I get it. It's stupid, but I get it. And if you're trying to protect an IP, it makes sense. If you're trying to get your story out there because it's true, then yeah, obviously you'd embrace it. You'd own it
like,
and be looking for other people. There was a moment early on in Cosmic Disclosure where he said, eventually I want other people to be coming out and talking about their own contact with these beings. And then when they did, he like ruined their careers. Or, you know, like Jason Rice literally lost his job at NASA for speaking out. Yeah. Like, whether it was true or not, I doubt. But they brigaded the fact he spoke out on Gaia, and then Corey and his group allegedly went to NASA and brigaded them until they quietly let Jason go. And Jason has only been seen like a handful of times since.
Really?
Yeah, he pops up at conferences every now and then. It's like, oh shit, that's Jason. But
right, so that part of it had always seemed very, very stupid to me. That he had kind of almost self-sabotaged. Because then, you know, he ends up in court. But yeah, anyway, I just, you know what I find really bizarre about this whole thing? You know, because Corey Good has kind of went away for the most part. Like, people know, like, people know that he's bullshit enough to at least there are faction. I understand that there's like this weird faction of people that definitely probably still stand with Corey to some degree. Maybe some that are private.
There's a small Telegram following.
But how is David Wilcox still profiting off of this nonsensical?
I don't think he is.
You know,
well, I mean, the original episodes of Cosmic Disclosure were taken off of Gaia when they left. The movies, that profit, nobody's been paid out from those movies. Like, that's why there's all these court cases. So he doesn't get profit from Corey. His main source of profit is YouTube. Yeah, okay.
And doesn't he have hundreds of thousands of watchers, and they're always giving donations? And
so he's not talking about Corey though. So he's getting he gets money, but like he's selling this new age bullshit, but he's not making money off Corey specifically.
Understood. I'm saying Corey only comes into the picture with David. So how is David not implicated in the Corey Good, like, grift, if you will? Like, what? I mean, obviously it did end up hurting David. You know, like most of his actions. I mean, he kind of built a career around this idea that the world is going to end in 2012, and or at least our consciousness. You know the story better than I do, and we should probably move on in a minute. But how? I mean, so I guess I did maybe answer my own question, because he did lose like the ancient alien stuff. He lost like any credibility and like actual documentary filmmaking with other people in the disclosure movement, because his name had become tainted. So that relegated him just to the faces of YouTube and New Age UFO.
I think as soon as he hit Gaia, the only, like, he couldn't get into other things. Once he was on Gaia, it was like they locked him down. It's probably also contractual that he could. It's probably contractual that he couldn't just go do other documentaries. That's why they waited until after they left Gaia to release Above Top Secret and the Cosmic Secret.
Right.
Or no, Above Majestic. That was it. Above
Majestic. Yeah.
So,
Which, again, like, it's kind of crazy to me thinking about it, because I really do eat up all like the UFO documentaries, and for a while I was watching all of them. It didn't matter, who was making it. I wouldn't go back to like the Strange Harvest days, but anything that was like 2000 post 2001, I would watch, and just like, whether it was popcorn movie watching it or I was consuming it all, and that stuff interested me, but I never got to the point of like subscribing to Gaia and donating to David Wilcox or anything like that. And I know that some people's lives were ruined in the course of this whole secret space program nonsense. So it we have to be cognizant as a community that there are people that are trying to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That is a good segue, because the next thing that I want to talk about is something that it's hard to talk about, but it's also easy to talk about. And the reason I say it's hard to talk about is because it's almost like if you talk about it, you're giving it merit. We're in one of those situations. The UFO community, and the reason I bring it up is because I know Gene Sticko, and a video came out on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, of Gene, who had met up with Lou Elizondo, and Gene called me and texted me like right after it happened, and I was like, oh, that's cool, like whatever. But little did I know there was a video, and it went out on Disclosure Tonight, I think it's the show, with Thomas Fessler and Mike something, Whistling Mike on X. Right. And essentially there's like this war of the narratives going around, and this is something I think that has been a very big presence in the and I want to stress this, the online UFO community, because nowhere, to my knowledge, on paper or in real life, is any of this talked about. I've been to Contact in the Desert. I've been to different conferences. None of this is ever really playing. I've never seen it, as a presentation or this or that. It's seemingly only on X and the UFO quote-unquote community. And I don't say that because, like, Red Panda Koala or Tupacabra, they don't make videos, and they don't. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying Elizondo and them don't make videos and aren't relevant. I'm saying the drama of trying, to get each other deplatformed, demonetized. I mean, and the illegality of it, I'm really unclear as to what is going on. It's very hard to follow, and it seems like the UFO community is almost, and I say this like really with the most sincerity, it seems like we can be our own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
So the video, in the video, it's Gene sitting down with Elizondo, and I know where they were because Gene told me, and he sent me the picture, and I knew where they were. And Ivan Hanel, the lawyer, and Gene they made Lou was in town, and he was like, oh, I'll go see him. So then Gene is a good friends with Mike and Tom of Disclosure Tonight, and he did like a live call in on Disclosure Tonight, because that's how that's run. And it's really just caused a lot of waves. Did you see the video?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't watch.
Just slammed a brick wall right there. Also,
I heard about it. I heard about it. But
backtracking. Echo, thank you for the super chat. Again, we are here going to be here live every Thursday. Your super chats are super encouraged and really, really help going into keeping the lights on, literally, and paying.
We should start setting goals.
Yeah, we should
set
start
like a super
goals.
chat goal.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. But I want the audience to be as engaged as possible, and I want you guys to ask questions, and I want you guys, if you disagree, or I think someone called us, I don't think it's acceptable to use the R word anymore. But I mean, listen, you want to say that? That's cool. Like,
I mean, we can
call
say
me,
it as
call
we're
me a
quoting
name.
someone, right?
He called us a retard, which I think is
Cancel that, man.
Cancel him. But give your thoughts. Become the third host.
Become the awkward third wheel in this broadcast.
Yeah. Eventually, we want to break this up into segments and have some stuff. But yeah. So there's just a lot of drama in the community online. No, the thing is it's been happening for so long. Like whether it's guys like KMF, it seems like, and hear me out on this. It seems like, and I cannot say that if Elizondo was not sitting right here, that I wouldn't be interested in asking him questions and having a discussion. I absolutely would.
Right.
My questions would be a little bit different than the ones that have been asked of him now or to this time, but I think that's what would make it interesting. And, it's being talked about. I do know Ivan, so I plan on having Tim Phillips on, and now I can say that because we've confirmed it. And the questions I ask him are going to be hard. The point is to, ask the questions that no one else is willing to ask. And
Can I just put a pin on that?
Yeah.
Whilst you ask those questions, it's important to give meaningful pushback when answers don't necessarily make sense.
Yeah.
Because asking those questions but just getting a stock reply, then you've done absolutely no work.
Right. There has to be a knack for. So this is my point. Is a lot of people, and my heart, I love Chris Ramsey. And I say that in a non-weird way. I think he has one of the. I mean, his studio is amazing. His ability to produce the stuff that he produces, amazing. Guy who isn't just famous for UFO stuff, was an illusionist, a magician, and really made his first real big name by doing that, and then having that interest in the UFO world, creating Area 52. But when he interviewed Elizondo, it was just he took everything at face value, and I'm like, push back. All I wanted was just even a little bit of follow-up to this, something that didn't quite make sense, right? And, he'd even ask for clarity. And he's not the only one, make no mistake about it. But it seems that Elizondo, in the interviews that he gets, there is a lot of, there's a lot of things that the host is just seemingly not willing to do. And it also bothered me when Rogan had Hal Puthoff on, and not once does he bring up Scientology after having Leah Remini on and making huge deals about Scientology and what they're doing. And not to sugarcoat things, because I love Danny Jones as well, but Danny Jones just had Luna on, and there was a couple times that I would have pushed back, but Danny just took it all and just. I understand what it's like to have one of these really high profile guests, and you want to appease them. But listen, we need to hold ourselves to that journalistic standard as podcasters and as interviewers.
Amen to that.
So that's some of the stuff that bothers me in the community. A big, I don't know. What's But I just want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Being who you are,
I am me. Hi,
What-
me. Meet the other me.
yeah. What is your take on the Alec? What is your take on Alex Jones? This is
He's
our
a mimetic machine who said some really stupid shit. I think he stole Bill Cooper's grift, but yeah. I mean,
Do you have a
okay,
favorable opinion, or-
I mean, if you'd asked me 10, 15 years ago, yes. But I grew up, so I now recognize the harm that he has done through erroneous reporting. But he's also been right about a lot of shit. So it's like, I'm not going to discount him completely. I think he's just an idiot. Like, he's an idiot with an organization that's right quite a lot of the time, but it's also wrong a lot of the time, like hilariously wrong.
very
So just
wrong.
full disclosure for the audience, by the age of like 12, I was watching InfoWars. My first gamer tag was Terrastorm, which is the name of
Yeah.
Alex Jones's 2004 documentary. Like, I was all in on Alex Jones from like a very early age. And then I grew up. So like, I've grown up with Alex Jones. He's almost like a weird uncle, you know, because I've literally been watching him since I was a child almost. So I can't conceive of a world or an internet, because he was there for basically when I got on the internet. I can't conceive of an internet that doesn't contain Alex Jones.
right and
which is-
InfoWars and him
well,
yelling.
InfoWars kind of went away with the whole Sandy Hook thing anyway. Now it's the Alex Jones show, but
Yeah.
so if he loses the trademark to InfoWars, it's really
Well,
not that
that's what
big
I
of a
wanted
deal.
to bring up. So, so the Onion, I think it was last year. The Onion had picked up and bought InfoWars, and the Onion is pretty satirical in nature, in its nature. So I thought it was. I mean, it made sense why they would buy InfoWars, but they seem to have purchased, you know, a lot of debt from what it seemed like it was going to happen. Now, he owes. So a judge just ruled again, so not in favor of Alex to appeal the 1.4 is it $1 billion?
Something like that.
I can't hear you, buddy.
Can't hear me?
Is it just me? Can anyone hear Kari?
Hello? Testing? Testing?
I can't hear you. Can someone in the
Hello?
comments let us know? Can you hear Kari?
What's happened? Okay.
Oh, they can
It's just
hear
you.
you.
It's just you.
Must be me. Oh yeah, that's weird.
What was the question?
Wait, what the hell?
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Why did my... One second. I'm gonna have to back out. In real time, guys.
I'm the captain now. Welcome to the Kari show. Can I get rid of that? Can I get rid of the thing? I hope no one screenshots this. I can't go behind it. Damn it.
Wait,
I
what?
was trying to what? I was trying to cover up the Total Disclosure logo because it's the Kari show now.
Oh.
But now people are probably just going to screenshot me and it looks like I'm doing the Nazi salute. So you're welcome.
What are you?
I've
Elon
cancelled
Musk?
myself.
Elon?
Wait, isn't the Nazi salute with the left hand?
I don't know. No, it'd be the right because it's coming over your heart.
Right, I didn't do it like that. I just
Yeah.
did that. But like, it looks bad, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty bad when you do anything like this. Don't wave anyone off anymore. Like, it's seen certain way.
It's okay. You just did it way more than I did, like 5 times. So I'm
Yeah,
off the
so if
hook
anyone
now.
wants
It's fine.
to
It's
grab
fine.
it, they can. I mean,
Don't. Okay. I thought you were just gonna do it. I was like, what the fuck
Nah.
are you doing?
psych!
Like, get off! Don't do it! Don't do it!
He's behind the scenes like, fuck, dude, we haven't even got started yet. We're already out of the gate.
Oh, shit.
Also, guys, if you want to, you can scan the QR codes up in the corner to, give a donation on PayPal. We don't get charged for those ones, aside from the cash out fee. But, yeah. So, and then there are multiple QR codes. That the black one is for all my links, and that includes Kari's links as well. So it just brings you all my links.
Awesome.
And
You know what we need to do? We need to add a link to the Dark Alliance documentary to the description of the videos, as well as my Twitter account.
Yeah.
I've just realized in real time we need to do this. So, look,
we
everybody,
actually-
you're seeing the show being constructed in real time as we do
Yeah,
the show.
I actually
it's
did
cool.
get-
You're in at the ground floor.
No, we did get an offer. So there's something I want to talk to you about off screen, but there's a cannabis seltzer company that wants us to do an ad read. So
I mean,
it's actually
you
good.
can. I'm not sure that I can have that shipped to me here in the UK.
yeah, I'll do it.
So,
It's
yeah,
it's legal
I
around
mean,
that. So. But there's also
anyway.
another one, Strong Coffee. It's called, the brand is Strong Coffee.
I could absolutely review that coffee.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
look, people are already seeing that the show is interesting enough to do that. So, Alex Jones, InfoWars, again, kind of been he's been a staple of like he's like, if conspiracy, is in like the dictionary, and it is, like, jokingly, there would be a picture of him next to it, right? He seems to throw shit at the wall, and whatever sticks. But in the 90s, he was doing some actually good, like, journalism, like breaking into, like, not breaking in, but
He was. And
he did break in
This
to
is why I
Bohemian
say that
Grove.
he stole Bill Cooper's grift, because when Bill Cooper died in November of 2001, right after 9/11, Bill Cooper predicted 9/11, by the way.
Yeah,
And
but
it's funny because Alex Jones says, I predicted 9/11, when Bill Cooper went on his radio show and predicted 9/11.
But even
and
Tucker-
the next day, Alex Jones steals that idea and prediction, then does it on his show and goes, see, I predicted 9/11. It's like, no, you didn't. Bill Cooper did. You just stole his report. Everyone can
But everyone
see that by
remembers
listening.
that even Tucker Carlson had Alex on and was like,
That happened like 2 days ago, right?
no,
I need
this
to-
is actually, he just did another interview.
Oh,
and
okay,
the new
another
one's
one.
called What Comes Next or whatever. But the one he had done with Alex recently, and listen, Alex has like really gotten it seems like the court stuff kind of like got in his head, and he was drinking a lot. And listen, I as someone who's sober myself, I'm not giving Alex a pass on the stuff that he said about anything about that, because he has got a lot right. You are right, and he's controversial in the way that your conspiratorial Uncle Joe at Thanksgiving is, like,
Right.
that there's always one in the family, right? And like Alex is like the top of the pyramid, that stuff. He's famous for being on Rogan, half in the bag, screaming at Joe about how the frogs are gay, and like turns out it was actually true to a degree that they were
Frogs
turning the
were
frog.
actually gay.
Yeah. So, like, it's just the weirdest shit. And, like, it makes you think, like, if this isn't, by the way, if we're in the Matrix and we have some writers, they deserve awards for what they've come up with the past, 20, 30, 40 years. Because, I mean, God damn, they told a good story. A tragic story, but a good one.
I feel
One
like
that
there's
has
been a new
everything.
writers' room the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
There's a new writers' room.
They're doing a
writing
reboot, yeah.
things.
They're
The arcs
currently,
have changed. The story arcs have changed. I don't know what the ending is going to be anymore.
yeah, it's like a new season of Doctor Who, right? They're recasting everyone. But Alex, do you think that Alex Jones is going to? Do you think that he's going to essentially be thrust into bankruptcy because the victims, the quote unquote, like, because victims
Hook
is used
families?
Yeah, victims is used in a really weird way here because they are actually victims. They did have losses in Sandy Hook from that
Right.
the thing.
Yeah.
And so they are victims, but then they're also, the way that they're utilizing the word victim in this is victims of the defamation. That is specifically what's on trial here. It's not it's not anything else aside from that. It's the fact
it's mainly that parent that was like kind of.
but they
smiling,
want to
right?
take. They don't. They say, this is what they say. They don't care about the money. They want him off the air, and they won't stop until he's off the air. Do you think that's
not
fair?
how? No, because that's not how the fucking First Amendment works. Like.
Thank you so
No.
much. Thank you.
Like, do I disagree with what he said and did? Yes, but he like as long as
No,
he's not
no,
incite-
no. You know, you don't.
No, I don't.
Like,
Nah.
okay. Yes. Pull that back. You're like.
Do I agree with what he said? No, but yes, I agree that I jumped like 4 words in my sentence there.
I know.
I know. Thank you for catching me, because I didn't even notice I'd done that.
Thank you,
Anyways.
Colm.
So yeah, like.
Thank you, Colm,
okay.
so much.
I disagree
So
with what he
back to
says,
it.
but I agree that he has the right to say it, as long as he's not inciting violence or directing anything towards a specific individual. Or I guess in this situation, yeah, he defamed, right?
Yes.
He defamed the parents and implied they were crisis actors, all this stuff.
Yep.
That obviously wrong.
Huge mistake.
But
Huge
he,
mistake.
apart from that, he didn't violate any constitutional law. He didn't violate, or he doesn't deserve to have his constitutional rights violated to appease the emotions of some people that he defamed. That's not how the Constitution works.
Right.
So, yeah, fine him. Liquidate INFOWARS as a brand. Do all of that stuff to satisfy this bloodlust for vengeance, which probably
It's
justified.
become. It has become that because it's almost like and I hate to say this, but you know the loss of the loss of somebody is a very strong motivator, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially the scenario that
This is why I don't think the parents are wrong for chasing.
I don't
it.
either. I don't think it's fair.
I think the stated goal being we're not going to stop until he's off the air. Well, you can't tape his mouth shut. You can't keep him off the internet.
Right.
So like that's not an objective that's actually reasonable.
Even though
That's my problem with it.
he was really the first person to be canceled in the modern day media. So he
One of
was
the first,
removed in one day. He was removed from Apple, YouTube, X, Twitter at the time, I believe, right?
Yeah.
All
What
in
was
one
What
day.
was the situation that led to him being? Because it wasn't Sandy Hook. What was the
I
thing
believe
that
it
he?
was.
What, it wasn't in 2012. This was in like 2020, 2019. Well, I want to think it was like
Maybe
QAnon
Pizzagate?
stuff.
In QAnon, yeah.
Pizzagate and QAnon. If anyone in the
someone know
chat
the
can let us,
answer?
can
I
anyone let us
thought it
know
was.
why Alex Jones was deleted from X and Twitter and Facebook and Apple and everything in 2018, 2019 era?
And here's the thing. So that is legal. It is. Those are private. So right now,
Right.
for instance, we are on YouTube, we're on Rumble, and we're on X right now. So those are private entities. They have every right to take you and remove you and ban you from their private platform.
Right.
And they
again,
have,
that is in line.
but if you
with the
create your own
Constitution.
website, yeah,
Yeah, like he has done.
right.
Where he can just say whatever he wants on his show because it's broadcast primarily to his own website. Now they'd have to go after the server farm. Is it Amazon Web Services? Is it or has he brought his own servers to host the show? Which, given his infrastructure, probably wouldn't be that hard for him.
I think he does have his own servers.
Right. So whilst I'm sympathetic to what they're doing, the stated goal is not reasonable and not achievable. So they should take the payout and go and live their lives.
Yeah, they need
I
to,
get
like,
it, but
they need to
there's
put this behind.
Once they get the money, there's nothing more that they can get. There's no other judgment that they can get for it.
Well, They want
Alex jump scare.
They want Alex off the air. They want him. They want INFOWARS gone. They want Alex gone. And like I said, that is a direct quote. Multiple people. There's a quote from them saying, "The money is not what we're after here. It's the fact that Alex is still able to broadcast." And that is, again, it brings up this fundamental, this really interesting talk about free speech and the right, a free press in the United States and the Constitution, because the internet, the Constitution was always, people think even when it comes to gun laws, they're like, okay, the laws are antiquated, right? Well, it was always meant to be able to adapt. That's why amendments were a thing, right? It was always meant to change and change with the times to be the best version of self-governance.
As long as the amendment doesn't actually violate the constitutional statute that it's amending.
But
As
the
long as
internet
it doesn't fundamentally change the what was codified in the original amendment to the Constitution.
Right. So the fact that the internet came around and it really became whether it wanted to or not, you start asking, is X, is Facebook, are these, especially post-pandemic and the way that society is heading, are these places, do they represent free speech? Are they a right at this point? Where is that line? Eventually, it's going to have to be addressed, because it's this very weird limbo that we're in, because people obviously have their opinions in real life and what I call quote unquote real life, but the fact is the internet and social media is life. It is part of life now, and people are getting arrested in certain countries over posts, and I mean it's becoming this Orwellian nightmare.
Yes. No, I agree with the Orwellian nightmare bit, for sure.
Especially in your country, bro.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff because I know that
comedian arrested for 5 jokes.
Possibly, they're gonna hit a wall with it where the people go, enough is enough, because I know what my country's like, so I'm not too worried about it. But in terms
anyway,
of,
back.
Yeah, in terms of
back to it.
The Constitution, and whether platforms have constitutional protections. See, this is a very complicated issue.
Of course it is.
Because this gets into what's the act that protects platforms from speech made on the platform? I can't remember the.
I don't know which one it is, but
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, right? it's I think it's ooh, God, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
it was
same.
Put in the place so that, like you said, the user and what they said. So again,
it's on them.
It's proposition something, I believe it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
But it protects X itself from say Hamas is tweeting. God, I think I'm pretty sure terrorist organizations have accounts and they tweet, they post, and
I've seen them post.
There's
before,
protection there so that X cannot be held liable for what the user says. However, they are obligated in a sense. And
section
this is
230. That was it.
Yes. Section. I knew it was proposition or section.
Yeah.
But there is also this fine line between. So you see that the lines are getting blurred, right?
Yeah.
And that newspapers are going away. So journalism is now Substack, Medium, that kind of thing. So free
we've
speech
decentralized
platforms.
Text media that's been decentralized. Now we're getting to the point where video news production, that's getting decentralized.
Right.
Where everybody's running their own network, like Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones. Like, funnily enough, all conservative people. I don't see anybody on the left having their own network. Not really.
Well, that's their problem. That's one of their
maybe
fundamental issues.
Don Lemon has his own thing.
Well, like even Gavin Newsom has a podcast now, and they think they're all like,
yeah.
They-
Well, this is the other thing. There's this. Oh, I've got my own network. It's like, no, you've got a website and a podcast. Like,
yeah.
there's not a network make.
Yeah. All right. Push him back. Push him back. Alex Jones, though, you know, did you? I remember he had Lou on, and you know what's weird? If you actually go back and watch the coverage that he has had of Lou since then, he's actually been very critical of him.
And who had Lou on? Sorry.
Jones, Alex Jones, had him on. You know, like, INFOWARS is like 24/7 on
Wait,
X.
Alex Jones had Lou Elizondo on the show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When did that happen?
A while back. But since then, he's been sort of critical of. Yeah,
because he smelt Fed. Like, that's literally, you know, it's literally he smelt the Feds and was like, these guys are running disclosure.
Yeah.
I just want to address Colin Buckley. I'm not sure if we actually did say it earlier. So November 21st. I think we did say it, but I just want to say it again. November 21st is when Age of Disclosure comes out on Prime Video.
And it will be also rerun simultaneously in 3 cities for at least, we're guessing, 14 to 21 day theatrical run.
Right. Enzo actually chimed in earlier that it's a 7-day minimum for Oscar qualification with a longer run required for Best Picture.
That's right. And I should know that stuff because I literally was. Anyway. You had some things you wanted to show, I think.
I did. I had a bunch of stuff. Like,
right,
I let you drive the boat today, so.
Yeah. Pick one and let's go. So we're gonna go to a quick tension palate cleanser. Oh, what the Age of Disclosure fucking picture was up there. Whoops.
Do you work for Dan Farrer?
Yeah, I think I have a stock in Age of Disclosure documentary.
I knew it. That's why you were so cool.
I am one of the producers, actually. Just kidding. I wish. Just kidding, actually.
You felt the death stare then, didn't you?
Yep. All right. So what is it that you had to? But Dronapalooza does continue in the Europe area.
So first up. Oh shit! Which one was it? I got too many up. No, not that one. I can't bloody see. There we go. That one. So this one is in. You think it's a UFO, but it's not. So there's this viral video going around. Oh,
Hold on,
God.
let me get rid of the banner. And put it.
This one.
So can you put it in full screen?
Yeah. So.
Oh, that does look very interesting, but it seems
that's
fake.
this week's. Oh my God! I can't believe people believe this video.
Yeah, I was saying this is really
we got to
fake.
name the segment. We got to name the segment, but
yeah. The obvious AI.
Yeah.
This is.
But it's an example.
It's getting way too good, though. That is way too good.
This isn't even new. This is the thing. So this was actually.
Remember, your coffee dripping must.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's from 5 years ago.
So and they're repurposing and saying happened yesterday or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So like this is a it's even in higher quality. Look at that.
Yeah, but they like made it grainy, and that's a huge tell, at least in my opinion, but there is a point at one point when they zoom in and it does that like the thing that the iPhone does when you zoom and it gets like lighter to darker, it goes like a really quick transition. Right. So this seems like it's some sort of video that was put, that was filmed with nothing, and then something was added in like the craft is added in to follow and track the motion.
I think this was done with an app, and then they applied grain to it after.
Yeah, but you said it was 5 years old, so there's no AI in it then, right?
Well, no, it would just be an app, or it's someone just animated it and then put grain over it, so the grain layer is over the
right.
top
So that's what I mean. So for people
Like
who don't,
here.
people watching, so oftentimes when you're watching a fake UFO video, there's these weird things they do that should be red flags immediately, and that is very like distortions of the actual picture, like over grainy, overexposed, like something that will mask the fact that there are sloppy cuts and mask the fact that there's a blemish or an imperfection in the actual effect that they're trying to achieve.
Yep.
So like this.
Like this. You know what makes it not make sense is this light over here.
There's no bokeh off of the light. Which,
Well, it would be,
and
it
what
would
is
be
that light?
It would be distorting the view.
But see how it gets darker right there? So it's like he took the grainy filter off and cut in that moment back to the actual video.
Did you see it?
Yeah. So
did you see the swerve?
Yeah.
Put it in slow motion because
So
that
you
is some keyframing.
Yeah. So it's like it goes back. The graininess disappears, and it's hidden in that moment. See how it fades? No, graininess doesn't fade like that. What are you, fucking crazy?
Well, that could be just ramping down the brightness or whatever. But I was more interested in the clear keyframing on the transition.
Well, that's what I mean.
Where if it starts to move,
you can see the cut.
Look in relation to this light.
Yeah.
You see the shrink?
Yes.
The shrink in the swerve?
Yes.
So that was not a natural lens phenomenon.
So this is okay, that's funny. Good fake though, like for good attempt.
I thought it was a good example of like
how many views does it have?
7,000 views over 5 years, and then 4,000 views on that tweet. So it's not super viral, but I thought it was an example of like one of these videos that gets shared around that is like old and fake and gets repurposed, and that's something I want to do at least once every show, is call out these idiotic accounts that repurpose videos, because
there's a lot of them on X that do it.
There are a lot of them.
Those are the ones we should be watching and calling out. So what else do you got for us for video?
I have here we go. Share this tab instead. So this was I actually meant to show this last week, but I got distracted.
Ooh. So this is Washington?
Wait for it. You see it?
Oh shit.
It's above the clouds.
And it curved, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, it like hooks like it's on a ooh, and then it turns again. What is that?
Right?
Is that like a
I don't know what it is.
What? So this is a city cam again. So
Yeah.
we're seeing a city cam again. That one had awfully good detail. That is right over the Capitol too.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Whoa, dude.
Like I'm not gonna say that's aliens, but I can't identify that from the footage. So that's definitely unidentified.
So look, it goes
it
in
reminds
back
me,
of the Capitol
me of the
building.
Starship Enterprise at Warp from the original series movies.
Right, but you see at the end there. So I've noticed that at least in the videos that I kind of have the most intrigue in, they sort of have this like ripple effect behind them. It's almost like it's distorted and it's like skipping, and it has it right at the end, right as it gets to the top of the frame. It does that like skipping thing distorts. So watch here, as it goes up, it curls around, and then it makes kind of like one final change of course, and then it skips a couple times. See that?
Yeah, that's cloud cover.
But I'm actually, I'd be really. Can you send me this?
Yeah.
I'd like to put this into. But we don't have the original source video, do we?
No.
That's what we have to do a good job of. We have to build a team like that. That's what I want Bree and
Good luck.
I want a team. We're gonna build a Christina Gomez. We're gonna build a. We're gonna build a.
I love Brianna, but there's no way you'd ever get her to come down from her throne. It's never gonna happen.
Bree, come on, Bree, come down.
One day.
Join us.
One day I'll get. The goat doesn't
Oh.
bother with the
Oh.
grass.
Guess what's coming tomorrow?
What's coming tomorrow, Tyler?
Camera switcher. Like in studio. In
So
studio.
you can
camera.
have 2 angles.
I can have 4 angles.
Oh shit! I mean, I
Yeah.
have a webcam as well, so maybe I could set 2 angles just to be fancy.
Yeah.
But
We could
I
have.
don't know.
Well, so we got the shit. I don't know what model it is, but it's got 4. Yeah. Anyway, for you nerds out there, for content creation, you know, the I have an audio box that the microphone goes into, for in studio, and you know the point is what we're trying to do is eventually get Kari to come live in the United States and then be the in-house Jamie of my Rogan and have it, you know, him in studio producing the show, the podcast aspect of it, and you know, while we're doing this eventually. So that's our goals. Those are our goals. So you know, with your help, with some super chats, with some memberships, and you know, we really do. We're going to be putting a lot of effort into the podcast, the live show weekly, and you know, doing a lot more fun stuff as well. You know, I have ideas for a certain show that I pitched to Kari, and I think you know the debate is whether shooting it practical, but it's really cool. So yeah. Anyway, that was a cool video.
I wanted to just segue onto that. That tomorrow we have the premiere of the edit of Peter, the interview,
which
with
is
Peter
already
Robbins.
available for members, by the way. As soon as Kari gets it to me, I put it right up for members. I might even
What did you think? I haven't spoken to you about.
Loved it.
I
Because
had a
again,
fun time.
shot at Contact in the Desert, just a simple 2-camera angle. I could have sent you the angles that the cameraman shot, but I really didn't want to go, you know, with a sweeping cam on this one, because this one was the first one we shot when we got to Contact. Actually, the first one I shot was with Greg Rogers. But that was at the hotel. The first interview I shot in the media room at Contact was with Peter. So we were still kind of like shaking off and getting used to the setup. So, but fascinating conversation about, you know, Peter's, Peter was kind of lost a lot of credibility at one point for his investigation into Rendlesham, and he has since gained it back. And then I worked with him again at the Exeter UFO Festival, and I really love Peter. I really do.
He seems like a cool cat. I want to hear about his abduction story. I didn't know about that until
I didn't know he was abducted.
Someone pointed it out to me on X, and I was like, "Wait, what? That's a thing?"
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, that was me not having the information, and you know, you weren't there. And we didn't really know each other, and we weren't really working like that together yet.
Yeah, not at that point, no.
But the Contact in the Desert 2026, you better believe that Kari and I are going, and you better believe that the content that we produce out of that, like, it's going to be fucking incredible. It's going to be incredible.
I'm excited for it. I know there are people in the chat watching, so Enzo, I hope, will be at Contact. I've met him at Contact a few times. Who else? I think maybe Echo might come.
Well,
I don't
this
know.
the Contact 2025 was the biggest one, the most attendance they've had ever, and I think next year is going to be even bigger, just because these kind of things build. I walked, so I, Contact in the Desert was fucking crazy for me. Like, it was the first time I had ever been. I got, Earl Grey Anderson, who's a mentor of mine, passes away, right? And he's supposed to do some introductions because he's Earl fucking Anderson, and he was the MUFON director for Southern California. That's the as a director.
I met him in 2024. He's a cool guy.
As a director of any chapter of MUFON, Southern California is the one, right? That's the chapter of MUFON. So there was a lot of stress involved in that job. It's a volunteer job. There is a lot of cases in Southern California. So Earl ends up tragically passing away. And it's kind of fitting in a way that then, I had made a good impression on some of the people that are behind the scenes at Contact by having you on to talk about Dark Alliance. And then I bonded with those persons over you and the similarities. And I think the realness that person saw that I had, they were like, hey, when the unfortunate opportunity was there, they asked me to fill in. I got to introduce, they shifted it around, so then I introduced Chris Bledsoe. Introducing Chris Bledsoe is not easy. So I had to get up on stage for the first time ever at a Contact, at a UFO conference. I had done Comic-Cons and other things like that. But at the biggest UFO conference, I had to get up in front of the people and introduce someone like Chris Bledsoe. And I was shaking, but then I felt Earl. And, he had the record, I think, for most appearances on my podcast, aside from Bassett, which is the next interview you're working on, ironically, the one we filmed there. But that's what I mean when I say that I've been fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time so many times, whether it was to facilitate conversations with nuclear witnesses like Salas and Mace and Salas and Burleson at both the hearings. I found what I was meant to do, and I was meant to facilitate conversation, to produce this kind of content, and work with someone like you. I found my place, and I feel like a lot of people in the UFO community, and I guess that's the moral to all of this, to everything that I've been saying, is instead of sitting on X and just falling into the drama of the Lou crew versus the not Lou crew, or this and that, if we're defending, and I've said this many times, if you're defending your favorite UFO researcher or experiencer or advocate like it's your fantasy football team, then you have an issue. We need to step back. This is a team sport. Everyone's vowing to be the quarterback. It's like, we need special teams. We need the punter. We need the offensive line. We need a united front. And
you know what I feel like we need? I feel like we need the silent middle to
yeah, and we need the spectators.
Not be silent anymore. When you've got both extremes on the spectrum, you've got the super believers and the super whatever the heck they are, fighting and doxing, and it's just been this never-ending war, and people get used as pawns, and if you associate with one personnel, then you're burned by the other group, and then they swell rumor. It's all this stuff. It's never-ending. I mean, this has been. I've been tangentially involved in some of this since 2020, just because some people on one side didn't like my opinion about Lou Elizondo. I get roped into this huge thing. So I know all about it, and I feel like there's a huge majority in the middle who have nothing to do with any of this, and all of it's just being fired over their heads, and they're just like, they don't say anything, they see it happening, and it's just what it is, right?
Right.
And I feel like that group of people, that silent majority in the middle, should be less silent and say, hey, fucking knock it off, both sides of you. Like, this is not substantively important.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think, but what and what I mean is, like, when you get out there, and you go to something like a hearing, and when, like, I can't describe it, but when you're in the room and you're watching Salas brief a sitting member of Congress, and you made that happen, right? Without you, that does not happen. Right. Simply, period. It doesn't happen. You put your ego aside. Like, and I'm not like, I'm not like pumping air at myself. What I'm saying is, and I'm not better than anyone. Like, I can be fucking petty, and I can be annoying, and I can be, condescending, and I know all these things because I'm very self-aware about it, and I try to be the best version I can be for the most part, and I think I am. I try to stay neutral. I've made mistakes, but we all need to be able to put our, like, I wish more people could experience things in like actually, whether it's investigating a case and becoming an investigator for whatever entity, whether it's MUFON or the International UFO Bureau, whatever, or like doing actual work, like whether it's volunteer work or you work with whatever it is. Once you find an actual place, something you're passionate about, whether that's, talking to members of Congress and interviewing like people, whatever it ends up being, being a producer on a show that, does this, does story, whatever, it contributes in this way. Like, if more people could find their place, what they like and what they want to get out there and get it. Go change it. You don't like it, go change it. If you don't like it, stand out and speak on it. Like, get involved other than tweeting.
Well, I feel like there's a large sect of ufology that doesn't take place on Twitter. So, I mean,
and that's what I mean.
Like, it's an echo chamber. It's a very loud minority on both sides that fight each other and act like what they're doing on a microblogging site means anything at all, which not really in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, you might get an occasional quote from someone in a space, or you might break a story, but like, it's more for like real-time news and not like doing important work, if that makes any sense. Like, important work in this subject is not going to take place in a Twitter space. It's just not. It's too low bandwidth for that kind of work.
Right, but it has its place. It has its place.
I would disagree with that, but that's just a me thing because I absolutely hate Twitter spaces.
But I'm saying spaces are, spaces aside, because you can argue what we're doing is a glorified space, right? It's just a different way of doing it. Oh, well, no.
I mean, we're able to see each other and communicate and actually have a discourse instead of it being one guy hosting it and then having, you can hop in and talk shit and someone. It's just, that's not.
Yeah, but again, I see that it has this place. But the internet, like it does have its place. Like when Elizondo or someone shows a picture, and it can immediately be debunked, like with what happened at the thing in Congress where Elizondo. Unfortunately, I'm bringing Elizondo up again, and I don't mean to pick on him because I really don't.
You're gonna get yourself on the list, Tyler.
Yeah, I like I said, I would love to interview Elizondo. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and I would very much treat him respectfully, with respect, and cordially. But I would ask very good questions, and not be afraid to ask the ones that some people might not be comfortable with.
I think the most important thing that people can ask in an interview or do in an interview is when you ask a question and they didn't fucking answer it, you say, I'm sorry, but that was an answer to some question, but unfortunately it wasn't an answer to my question.
You know who's really good at that?
Yeah.
And I recommend the content. So it's this, God, oh my God, why is this happening to me today? I can't
I don't
remember
know.
anybody. Jeez.
Is it the financial guy?
No.
He's who
What?
comes to mind. There's a guy who interviews like young Zoomers or whatever about.
Zoomers. The hell's a Zoomer?
Oh my god, you really are a boomer, Tyler.
I'm a millennial, I think. I was born in '93.
I mean, so was I.
But okay, I'm definitely
Okay.
of that boomer mindset, I guess.
Yeah. So a Zoomer is like what is the opposite of a boomer?
A Zoomer is the opposite of a boomer. That doesn't give me a clear picture.
Or what's a boomer?
They're an old person. Well, not an older person who, like, for me, the ideal boomer is like a Fox News dad.
I don't think there's any ideal in the boomer industry, but okay,
Old
so
white
a
guys.
Zoomer is basically anyone born after the millennium.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with that shit.
Why
So
did
I
I say
think it's
Zoomer?
Alex
I-
G.
Alex
No,
G.
that can't be right.
Oh right, that's what I was saying. So this guy has like young people on who are like in debt or they made bad financial decisions, and then he'll like quiz them on it, and then they'll give some bullshit answer, and then he's like, "You're not answering my question." Like that's the best. Those are the best interviews. Like, yeah, you're never gonna get everybody because once people know that that's your interview style, or that can be your interview style, either they're going to put stipulations or they flat out won't go on your show, because most people want PR, they don't want...
Tommy G.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. So Tommy G on YouTube, amazing channel. Does a lot of like documentary style videos, but he's like this very soft spoken, like he's got this like, hey, you know, not that high. I'm making him sound very like kind of like feminine, but I don't really do impressions well. But he's got this like kind of like his very unique voice, and it's like high. But he's also like very jacked. So he's got this big presence, but it kind of a softer voice. But someone will like steamroll him or try to steamroll him, and then he'll go like, wait, you just steamrolled me, like you didn't answer the question. And then like he'll just like call it out, like very like it's I hate to even say it, but like maybe on the spectrum a little bit, like the way he calls it out. Like the girl I am dating is on the spectrum, so like I see the same thing in her. The way she, like there's that, I mean that with sincerity, like and genuineness. Like the way he won't. If you don't answer his question, he just circles back and then tells you exactly how you just like circled around it. It's very.
Ufology needs something like that. For a while, I thought about making, like Content Cop, like iDubbbz Content Cop. I wanted to do that for ufology, like UFO Content Cop, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah.
But it would have been examining these interviews and saying exactly what they fucking did wrong.
Yeah,
and being
but
like,
shout out to Tommy G for tackling the subjects that rarely get talked about or rarely get, like, the people he has involved. Although, if I could give him some advice, I would say stop shooting at such a high frame rate. Kari's going to go watch and see what I mean now. But he shoots at a very high frame rate. It gives it this, like, very...
Oh, that would just be 60 FPS.
Yeah, it's just...
Like, we're at 30 right now, and it's
Yeah. He shoots at a high, like, super high frame rate, and I'm like, oof, God, it's like when you've taken mushrooms and you get HD vision.
Oh, I was gonna use so you remember when the first Hobbit movie came out and they released it in 48 frames for like some weird reason? They tried to
No,
make
I
that
didn't
happen.
watch it in theaters.
So I saw that in the theaters in 48 frames a second, and it was the worst fucking film experience of my life. And I'd waited so long to see the Hobbit movie, and I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Like, the
That's
whole
a weird,
thing
that's
is
an
like...
odd frame rate to choose.
It was double 24, right? So it's just double... They're just doubling the speed at which the film is exposed, and it...
Yeah, no, but if it doesn't do anything for the actual, like, if it doesn't add to the...
It did. It made it... I know. It made it smoother, but it was also... It felt so artificial compared to normal film.
Right.
That it was like, how... I never want to see this again. Like, I'm a PC player, right? I'm gaming. So I'm always like, I'm trying to get 60 frames. I'm trying to get over 100 frames, whatever. That one cinema experience proved to me that cinema needs to be 24 frames a second.
Yeah.
Like, it just has to be, because that's just how we've been culturally ingrained for 70
You can play
years.
with aspect ratios, but you can't really...
Yeah.
You can't really, like...
The only time you want to shoot in a higher frame rate is if you're going to slow it down.
Oh, yeah. Very good point. Very good point. And that's what, like, Zack Snyder is, like, his slow-mo stuff is... It's really...
That's like 60% of his films.
Yeah, it's arguably. But what James, I thought, with Superman and even with the Suicide Squad, you could start, and I'm about to nerd out here, and kind of like reach back into my old days of podcasting with Pop Culture Corner. But what I really like what James Gunn is doing with DC, so starting, because with Guardians, he was very rigid. His shooting style, it was very, paint by numbers, play by the rules.
I feel like Marvel had a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And he wanted to get it right? He wanted to get, and there was no. The studios made by, films made by committee ultimately suffer. Like the creation and the creator suffer, and it's terrible. And that's the problem. That was the huge problem at DC. Even though it was in a different way, leadership kept coming in and fucking everything up. But with James Gunn and Safran, what I really like what James Gunn is doing is exploring camera movement. And, I think he used a really wide-angle lens for some of the shots of Superman flying. And people it was kind of like jarring to people, and like they said David Corenswet was like, it looked like there was, his face was like it made him look uglier,
Right.
And
I
again,
quite liked how they shot that. I saw like a behind the scenes thing where he's sat on he's laying on a gyro, and then like the wraparound screen.
Yeah. No, I
So, like,
watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Well,
So they have
for the
yeah.
audience. Like so then they wrap around the sky as he's flying by, and they blow wind and whatever in his face. So
Yeah.
although didn't they CG his eyes or something? Or,
No, James Gunn.
No, he removed the shot. I remember now. He removed the shot
from the final cut,
from the final cut,
but he
because
changed it.
Yeah. There's one shot where in the original trailer, Khan hits him on the back of the head, and
And he
Superman
flinches.
And he
they
blinks,
changed that
and
shot
They
too.
changed that, and then they changed the one of Superman flying where he looks like he's cross-eyed. They got rid of that shot.
Yeah. So, but James Gunn confirmed that there was no CGI used on David Cornsweat in those shots of him flying. It
Right,
was,
it's a helicopter shot and a physical wraparound on the actual screen,
which
which
I
is
thought
why
was,
I thought it was awesome. I was like, that's actually like better than you would have got from Man of Steel. Like, Man of Steel was good, but that was all CG. So
yeah, very, very CG. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, back on track here. So tonight we covered Alex Jones and the court's ruling against his appeal for the $1.4, I think it's $1 billion settlement, and the inevitable bankruptcy of INFOWARS and Alex Jones. I think that would pretty much cause it. So there's a huge, debate about what happens next for Alex. We also covered some of the weird drama with Elizondo and how that took place, and the date that Age of Disclosure will debut, what its theatrical run will bring, and why they've chosen the route chosen. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up?
Not especially. I do want, so anybody listening, obviously if you're listening to the audio, this is a very visual show, so we highly advise you come over to YouTube or X or Rumble, I think that's where we are, and check the show out.
Rumble as well, yeah.
I had another thing I was going to say and I've totally forgotten it.
You can scan the QR codes.
It's gone. Yeah, scan the QR codes too, do that. Hit the like button. Oh, that was it. If anybody in the chat, anybody listening or watching is going to go physically to a premiere showing of Age of Disclosure, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to interview you.
That
would be great. That would be great. I would love to talk to somebody that goes there physically. In New York, Washington, D.C., and L.A.
Very fitting. That's a smart choice for D.C. Obviously, having a lot of people in D.C. in it, that's pretty smart move. And it's also meant for that marketing kind of. It's definitely used marketing wise.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool to see it finally and see what it has to offer. Last question: do you think it will move the needle at all?
The needle is a lie. That's my answer. Where can people find you, Tyler?
Oh my God. Well, you can find me on X Disclosure Pod or search Total Disclosure. Look for the red UFO on any platform like YouTube. The podcast is on any podcast platform, so you can just search Total Disclosure. All the links are in the description below. What about you, Kari? Where can they find you?
You can find me on the internet at Fires of Truth.
Are you waiting for a cue?
I was waiting for a cue.
Okay.
I thought you were going to go, and where can they find you?
Oh.
But it's okay. You can find me on Twitter.
Oh, Jesus, sorry.
Yeah!
I didn't think it was that loud.
Wow. That was very loud. You can find me on Twitter at Fires of Truth. You can find me moderating the chat in the Truth Seekers Discord or the Truth Seekers Show. If you like documentary films, there is one on Amazon Prime or Tubi or Apple TV called Dark Alliance, the inside story of the Cosmic Con. Go watch it. I had a huge hand in the making of it. I made it with Darcy Weir. I narrate it, and I have a cameo. Very cool. There's two versions, but they're the same. They're the same thing. There's you can watch it in episodic form, or you can buy it as one long flow with just the credits between 1 and 2 cut out.
Yeah. I was gonna say I watched it as a oneer.
Right. Well, the reason we did that is because Amazon TV doesn't like TV shows. Like the way that the algorithm works, Amazon Prime Video doesn't like TV shows. They actually like films way more. So that's why we recut it, because it had like no visibility in the algorithm because it was like a self-published TV show as opposed to a self-published movie.
Right. Well,
so we just redid it.
Darcy also released the Pascagoula.
Yeah, the Pascagoula
in a
series.
4-part.
Yeah.
So that's again, I was like, why did he do that?
Well, I think that's what after that release. I think that's why we pivoted away with Dark Alliance, because
so there was like
I
there was a lesson.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yes or no with that, but I assume the reason that Dark Alliance 1 was recut and re-released as a film was because the visibility of the series.
And what do you dive into in that? Because Dark Alliance, that's kind of.
I need to. I watched the Pascagoula one when it came out. I need to rewatch that because I remember it being pretty good.
Is there a trailer for Dark Alliance that we can show? I don't think we've showed it yet on the show. Come on.
It's on the IMDb page. Give me a sec.
Come on. Pull it up.
I have an IMDb page.
We'll pull out on that. I have an IMDb page too. Come on. Let's get real.
Yeah, but you worked in Hollywood. I'm a country bumpkin from the UK. I shouldn't be here.
Dude, anyone is a filmmaker if they pick up a camera.
Right,
just go make a movie.
So I would love it if anybody watching could go and check out this film that I made with Darcy. And
it's actually really good.
I had a lot of fun. It took like 4 years.
It's great.
Gaia and the Cyberstalkers are the dark forces.
All right, so my clients are not the dark forces?
No.
But I would say to those of you that are supporting him and helping him to defend himself, what's he defending himself from? Who is the dark side? Because see, if you really look at it and dissect it, no one is suing Corey. He's the one suing everybody. Nobody's suing him. Who is the dark force? Who is the cabal?
Yeah, the cabal.
You know, he said things like, I couldn't believe, to be honest with you. He told me he was talking about 20 and back and bases on Mars and the moon and all this. Although none of that was in his book. I do believe that there was a information contamination.
I was contacted by Roger Ramsell or Roger Richards, who at the time was Corey Good's business partner, manager, something to that effect. I believe he contacted me in about March 2017. I think if you look up sensational in the dictionary, you'll probably find David Wilcox's face in there. Like, it is kind of like a cult tactics, cult-like behaviors that are going on around that group.
So I called Corey and I said, Corey, I'm calling on behalf of David. How much of a percentage is David going to get? Corey said to me, I'm not giving David a percentage.
Corey literally called himself the Enoch of our modern times, and David claims to have all these insiders, and they prop themselves up to be these larger-than-life personalities.
Hundreds of people have been on Gaia, having different TV shows and different personalities. Have any of them turned around and sued Gaia? Nobody but Corey Good.
David is going to lead a conversation.
Raise our glasses to Bill William Hopkins.
Love you, Bill.
He told me, I forget the name of the company that created the Skynet in the Terminator films. He said he started Cyberdyne years before the Terminator film came out.
Jesus.
Let's go back to the beginning. I first met Corey and David.
Such a good
Well, let me
cut
back
right
up
there.
a little bit from there. So
Rook Alliance. So I see someone in the chat going, "Oh my God, haven't I seen this?" Please go check that out. That's something that I worked on for a long time. I wrote a large majority of it. I narrated it. Please go and watch it. Watching it back, at the beginning I was like, wait a minute. I remembered that's actually the old version of the trailer. I rescored it within the Hall of the Mountain King. I have it somewhere. It's so much better. But that's not a bad trailer by any stretch of the imagination. But I remember I had to do some work and rescore that trailer. So I added in the Hall of the Mountain King, and it fit perfectly. It was like such an inspired choice, and I wish that I had shown that version because it was a lot more upbeat than the cult thrillery vibe we got from them, which is still accurate to what we did.
Well, I think overall, that is actually a pretty great trailer for.
Yeah, it is a great trailer, and
it does. You know, someone said
it did the great job for the first 6 months, and
it really
still up
is.
there on the IMDb.
It really is like it's almost like one of those Netflix documentaries about a cult. It's just this also has to do with UFOs, and it's primarily based on the clear vacuum that this topic occupies of people's lives, because it's everything. It becomes like a religion, right? Like it's your reality, and people get so vested into these these narratives. And again, I think that's one of the fundamental problems here is like we're dealing with such a complex, and it's crazy to think about. We're dealing with such a complex phenomena, and you think that like the top minds and beyond it, and you know, we're talking about like life after death, what happens, what is a soul, like these new age kind of like questions, and like the things that we all wonder. Are we alone in the universe? What happens after life? I mean, what happens after death? Is there afterlife? They're old questions, but like the new age perspective on it and the old perspective on it are similar, but
kind
in
of
two different worlds.
I have a counterpoint.
Well, it
to that,
became
kind of.
religion back then. Like it morphed into modern day religion, and like now people look at it, they're a little bit less religious, but they're more spiritual. But then they are, you know, the ones that like talk about like living in the astral plane and like traveling to like other planets for the Galactic Federation. That's also comes with the territory. It's like there's the smartest people, but there's also the most gullible people.
Well, it's a spectrum. You've got serious research all the way down to religious appeasement, but
right.
I
But
think,
like what I'm saying is like
here's a
if
question,
you're an
though.
advanced mathematician, like your community is going to be advanced mathematicians, right? It's just the UFO community allows for like really, really like intelligent people, but then it's also susceptible to people that want to take advantage of others and on their want to believe. That's why it's like it's cutting edge of philosophical, of like it's the most important story, right? But it's also the most flawed.
And I saw you posted a comment on my post about this exact problem, about there being no established metric. And my comment about it was more geared towards, so say you debunk a video and like you can very much prove that was keyframed, whatever, and then the next day 10 accounts will post that same video and go, oh my god, a UFO, and they get like 200,000 views, and if you call them out like, oh, I'm just asking questions, man, it's like that. It just makes the value of debunking a video pointless, absolutely pointless. When unless you it's funny actually that I said this in the post, like unless you go on Joe Rogan or you've got your own massive reach, then it's pointless. And then today, it's funny I said that, because then today I saw a video. I actually had it ready to share, but we haven't got time today. Is someone went on Joe Rogan and said that the Hellfire video was real, and I'm like, this is exactly what I'm fucking talking about.
Well,
like,
Luna on Danny Jones was like, when he asked her what the most like incredible thing that she's seen, she said the Hellfire missile video, and I was like,
because she has no understanding of parallax.
I was like, what the fuck? Why would like really the Hellfire missile video? You couldn't have picked anything else. You had to default to the latest thing, which is clearly like has its issues.
Yeah. But it's because it's current news.
Even
right?
the gas station guy that knows me as the UFO guy, because we have the studio here and the gas station's right there. So like the studio's visible, and so people know that I do the podcast and they're interested in it. And there's actually one guy I want to bring on because he's like a Buddhist monk as well. And he
Nice.
works at the gas station as like I don't know. He really doesn't.
He
It's
is
weird.
one with the pumps.
No. Yeah, I guess you could say that. But the guy's so interesting. And every time I have a conversation with him, it's like the deepest conversation I've ever had. And it's I was like, dude, I gotta bring you on the show. You're
Get that man in the seated studio.
As it stands, when I'm
Well, okay. Here's my question, and then we'll end on this question because I think it's good for the audience to think about. So you're talking about how there's like these new age beliefs and these extreme beliefs surrounding UFOs and whatnot. So I have a question. Generally, our idea of what a UFO craft is has evolved over the years as in line with our own technological understanding. of, so like back in the 50s it was flying saucers and boomerang type shapes, and it was cigar
in the
shapes.
1800s it was airships.
Right. So like that connection there leads me to think that there is some kind of perceptual aspect to this where it's like it exists on the fringes of what we think is possible as a collective consciousness. Not to sound too new agey, but like collectively what our vibe is, what our technological level is, what the extreme level of our imagination. I mean, now we're in the future, so it's all orbs and it's all non-Euclidean shapes and warping orbs and all this stuff. We don't really hear about physical craft. Even the Tic Tacs the Tic Tac craft is a smooth oblong shape. It's no longer like mechanical saucers or anything like that. So I feel like, what's the next step? That's the question I've got. Is if it's evolved
the next
decade
step
to decade,
is orbs.
what's after orbs? Yeah, but what's after orbs?
After orbs, I think would be.
If we keep following this concept, this like process of it kind of evolving as we evolve our scientific knowledge of the universe, what's after? That's my question. And I'm gonna end on that. That's my question.
Religion is just a cult plus 100 years.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan has actually like a really good bit about this, and he says, to some degree, he says, what is the difference between a religion and a cult? And he said, well, the only difference is there's that the one guy that made it up and knows it's bullshit is dead. That's the only difference, right?
Yeah,
the guy that started it was.
I mean, so let's take Scientology as an example.
Yeah.
Hubbard dies, and within
then
like
it becomes a religion.
Within like 3 years, Miscavige manages to like, the war is over. We've beaten the IRS.
Yeah.
So it literally it did take.
There's one guy that knows it's bullshit, and then he dies, and it becomes a religion, right? Like,
isn't that what happened with Joseph Smith?
With Scientology, with like the Jonestown. Well, they didn't get like, but it was all headed like
what?
the cults. The cult side of it you can see was there, right? Like the Jim Jones side of it, but also in Scientology they have the rigidness of, you know.
Well, Jim Jones is just a charismatic psychopath, but.
Yeah,
like,
but you see, it's
the
the same
stories
thing.
It's just
repackaged.
from the survivors of Jonestown is like that is some crazy.
It's just
crazy
repackaged.
shit.
Like Scientology could, you know, like I put it in the same bracket as all that stuff.
Right.
But it's just like more organized and, you know, like
They got money.
Christianity.
But the thing with Jonestown is once Jim Jones was dead, it didn't like expand. It didn't go, oh, he's dead. Let's create 50 more Jonestowns. That's not.
Well, then there's like Heaven's Gate. That was like a literal UFO cult.
Yeah, it's martial
Right?
Apple White.
And if AI keeps going the way it's going, then there's going to become like I could see a time where what's next is people form religion around the alien beings. This idea of aliens instead of
Already
like
there.
God. I know, and that's what I mean. Like
This is what
that's
the New Age is a new
that's
religious
what's
movement
next.
that hasn't reached the level of being a bona fide religion. In some cases, it's reached a cult level status in certain insular groups, but as a whole, the New Age is very fractured and splintered, so it can't reach that kind of crescendo moment kind of thing. Thank you, Jeremiah. I hope you check out the film.
What does it say?
If
I
you
can't
do, I
read
hope you
from
enjoy
here.
it. It says, keep your minds open and doing the Lord's work.
Oh.
They just
The-
misspelled the and Lord's. The Lord's.
Oh, thank you. We thank you for the
Yeah.
for the
I
super
hope you
chat.
enjoy the film.
Praise the cash as
I want to see you here next Thursday, so you can
What is
give
it?
me
Praise the
your
cash.
Praise the cash. We do praise the cash here.
Yeah,
it's,
we should
you know.
make a little. No, if you do become a member, I call you an asset, though. It's something I told Kari, and he was like, "That's so wasn't lame, and I was like, come on, come on. I was like, it's fun.
It's kind of
fun.
hokey.
It's
it's
hokey.
I get
but
it.
all right, we'll end it there.
It would be just trashing your whole business model to end the show.
With that being said, become an asset, gain access.
Become an asset so I can make
What's
fun of you for being an asset.
Yeah, hey, what's your clearance level? Sign up.
My clearance level is River Moon Coffee.
Yeah, River Moon Coffee. No, what's your clearance level? Get a
what
classified.
The actor
asset.
Bradley Whitford just sent me a message. What the fuck?
No, he didn't.
Literally did. Bradley Whitford. Thanks for the love and support. What is my life right now? I'm a massive West Wing fan. If this is real, I'm gonna die. I'm checking this on air. Let's look. I want to know. I gotta know. Is this real? Bradley Whitford, the actor? You never heard of Bradley Whitford?
Nope.
Am I losing my mind?
Yeah. Probably.
Let's have a look. I just gotta check this because if that's real, I wanna be like, hey, oh my god, it's real. I can't even get to his profile from this chat. What the fuck?
Well, I would like to wrap up and eat.
All right.
So.
All right.
I had a great time. I had a great time.
Right. Me too. Sorry for that random distraction at the end, but when you get a text message that says Bradley Whitford, like, holy fuck.
Report back that what's going on there. But
I will.
Anyway, to everyone, yes, become an asset. Hit join if you want, or send super chats or whatever. And during the live shows, weekly live shows every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the podcast debuts. Well, tomorrow it's Friday, but I'm still working on what day that should be, consistently in the future. But the audio debuted a day before, but I'm a little bit on a weird release schedule right now, so I gotta fix that and change that. So it won't be Fridays.
I mean, my aim is to have edits done so we can promo it during this show. That's my plan in my head. Whether we get there or not is another thing.
Yeah. But I'll keep everyone updated on that. I mean, it doesn't, as long as I come out. But consistency is key. And if you can, leave a rating and a review if you're listening on a great podcast platform in the future. It really, really helps. And it's free. It takes 20 seconds. Same thing as liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your friends, share with your friends, your family, the enemies, the grays, when they abduct you. It's all the same to us. No discrimination. And as I like to say to everyone, I'll see you on the other side.